I had a great video. It went on and on for several minutes. It was awesome. And I forgot to record it apparently, or I hit the wrong button. I don't know what happened to go inside, and oh my goodness, it's not there. And I got fuzz in my glasses. So let's just break a whole bunch of rules. Number one, I'm not ready to be filmed. And number two, I'm looking straight into the sun. So if you have the side of a building or mountain or a tree or something, it may be great to have your subject facing the sun. In fact, one of the things people ask me is, how do I get blue skies? Obviously on days when there are blue skies. And one of them is to keep the camera away from the sun. So in other words, before we were backlit, so I had light coming in front of the camera, actually was coming off the side of my face. It's kind of like here. Now I'm front lit. And for the side, for this, it's great. For the side of the house or whatever we're actually focused on, because I don't have any clue, that's fine. But for people, as you can see, I'm squinting like crazy. Now, if they have sunglasses on, that's a different story, because then you won't see their eyes, which tends to make a photograph that's a little less alive, because you don't see the eyes. You don't get that glint. The idea is to have it at an angle. So for blue skies, there's two main things, and now the clouds are coming around. One is keep the sun at your back. If the sky is in your picture, keep the sky at your back, the sun at your back. Otherwise, you're going to get blown out sky. And one of my neighbors is sharing his music with us. It's awesome. He's over on the other street. The other one is the use of a polarizer. Circular polarizers are fine. You just need to know if your lens has internal focusing or not. If it doesn't, and the focus ring actually moves the mount for your filter, you're going to have to rotate that thing back. And it's pretty easy, because you'll look at your subject, and as you rotate, things will be real bright or real dark, and it'll come in and out. It'll get real bright, it'll get real dark. It'll get real bright, it'll get dark. When it's the dark, that's where you want your polarizer. And you can also adjust it if it's too dark, not enough, whatever. But just do it after you have your focus locked. Otherwise, it'll move and you may not get the effect you want. When you combine the two, you can get really great blue, deep blue skies, obviously on days that have a blue sky. If it's completely overcast, forget it. You're going to have to use Photoshop or some other tool. But obviously on a day when you have a blue sky, those two combined give you deep blue colors without introducing any levels. You can also add a slight underexposure or do an EV minus a little bit. I tend not to worry about that so much, but sometimes I do manual mode, and maybe I'll take the aperture up a step or two and leave the shutter speed right there, and sometimes I do the opposite. I take the shutter speed and essentially cut it in half or double or whatever I want to go. So now the sun's come back out. Hopefully this time the video actually works. The last time it was really great. This one really is, it's okay. But this is why you don't have the sun and your people squirting in the sun. And now some of you are going to say, well, how do I do that? Well, if you got a camera with an onboard flash, you can utilize that and do some with the rear curtain, depending on how bright the background is, or sometimes you just want to do the front. If you have a really bright sun, especially if it's low and it's coming right behind the people, just flash on normal will be fine. There'll be enough light to overpower the flash so the background's not dark. If you have a darker background, let's say that you've got people at a setting sun on a beach or something, and you want to get the setting sun behind them, get that nice glow, or rising sun, whichever. Many cameras, especially some of the point and shoots, have what they call a night portrait mode, and that's what that is. Essentially what you're going to do is rear curtain, and what that is when you push the shutter release, the two curtains of the shutter open. Normally that's when the flash will fire right before that happens. So you push the button, flash goes off. Now it's in fractions of a second that you can't tell. The flash goes first, shutters open, bam, light comes back from your subject, exposes it, you're done. With a rear curtain, it opens, okay? The front and rear curtains open on the shutter, and right before the rear curtain closes, comes up to close, because that's on some mechanisms kind of go like this, and then it's like that. The flash fires. So what happens is the background doesn't become all dark. So it opens to expose to the background, and then flashes the light on your subject. And that's how you can have light behind various types of light. So if you've got the sun, maybe you just do normal, but you can test around with it. Turn down your flash because you're using the fill. So it's not your main light source, but uses the fill. And then for something where you want some nice warm colors in the setting sun or whatever, to the rear curtain. Sometimes it's called a slow sync. It's a little bit different though, but some cameras don't have rear curtain, but slow sync should work. You may have to adjust the power of the flash to make it work. But the rear curtain is what you're looking for. Learn to use it. A lot of cameras have it, or use your night portrait mode. Heck, use your night portrait mode in the middle of the day and see what you get. And understand your camera and how it sees light. Thank you. Bye.